Hi, it's T with TeaQuilts, and I'm here because I was donated some quilt panels, and they are a mixture of polyester and cotton. And as quilters, our first instincts are that we only sew with 100% cotton fabrics. And I have to admit that went through my head. Someone at my husband's job donated the fabric to me. She had been having it for years, and she was tired of transferring it around. So I first thought maybe I would just go ahead and pitch it, give her a nice thank you note, and be done with it. And then I thought about it, and I go, well, these would make great charity quilts. She gave me a whole lot of fabric, still on, some of them were on the bolts. And it all came from Walmart. And I shared some of it with some of my quilting friends. So I just want to show you what I have left over after sharing some of the panels. I only shared the panels, and then I will show you what I'm going to do with 2 of the panels. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I got was I got quite a few panels, and I've already washed these panels because she or someone in her home was a smoker. I think she is a smoker. I've actually seen her smoking. And so the first thing that I did was I actually washed the panel, and this is one giant panel here. And I'm not going to actually unwrap them because they're nice and neat, but I just wanted to show you the quantity of what I got. I think I cut off one of these and gave to a friend. And then the next set of panels was Care Bear panels, and I have quite a few of these. I cut one of these and gave to a friend. And I am probably going to use these to make some quilts for a set of twins that I have in my family. And then in addition with this, I also got some extra print that matched the Care Bear fabric. So I thought that was a really good one for me to actually save. And then the next set of panels I received was this patriotic print. And it has the Pledge of Allegiance. And then in addition to that, I also got this patriotic looking fabric. Some other novelty prints. And again, all of these bolts read that there was some polyester in all of these fabrics. So this is a Looney Tunes fabric. Another Warner Brothers fabric here with Tweety. And then we have SpongeBob fabric here as well. And then in addition to that, I also received some solid fabrics that she had. So this is green. And again, it's all got polyester in it. More navy blue or royal blue. And then a sky blue and some brown. So those are the fabrics that I received. I had 2 of the patriotic panels I also shared with a friend. So I gave away 4 panels, and we're using these to do charity quilts. So we're going to start back with this patriotic panel. The problem with some panels is that instead of them turning these blocks and printing it so that the blocks would be on the long fabric, it's turned sideways, and it's pretty short width-wise, which is very difficult for me to show you. The width is actually on the yardage. So then that means the width was only 36 inches when it's cut. And then, of course, the blocks are going width-wise, which makes the quilt itself wider than it is longer. So there are a number of things that you can do with panels. You can cut the panels out, put sashing, sew them back together, or sew them all back together. But I just think that defeats the whole purpose of doing something quick and utilizing the fabric instead of putting it in the trash. So what I did was I squared this panel up to 42.5 inches wide by 35.5 inches long. So I have one of those already done. I'm actually going to work on both of these as charity quilts. I normally do at least 2 charity quilts a year. So I have this one all squared up, ready to go. So now that this quilt is short, I need it longer than it is wider. So I had to come up with a plan. And you can put a strip or 2 or 3 or whatever you want. You can put solid squares. You can put piano key borders. You can do whatever you want. I have an AccuQuilt die that will cut 6.5 inch half square triangles. So that is what I did. So I cut, I'm going to be using these on my top and bottom. So that's why I cut my width 42.5 inches wide, because 6 inch finished half square triangles, I will need to have 7 of these to go across the top and the bottom. So I did that, and then that would give me additional 12 inches onto my 35. So that made it 42 inches. So here are some of my half square triangles. And if you want to use half square triangles, you can set them any way you want. You can set them so that you have the brown going across the bottom. You can set them so that the blue is going across the bottom. So you can do whatever you want with that. You can also make flying geese with them as well. So you could do flying geese, and then you could also do ribbons with them as well. So those are just some of the things that you can do with the half square triangles if you did that. So I sewed my half square triangles together into rows, and I've only done this on up to a certain point, just so I can show you in this video. So I sewed this together, and so then I decided that I want this row that I'm adding on to be a little bit wider so that my quilt top will be a little longer. So I am going to add a 2.5 inch strip to the top and the bottom. So then I went and used some of the other blue, and I cut some strip sets out so that I can put this into this setting. So I'm going to do this for the top and the bottom. And when I'm finished, I'll have something that looks like this. So that will give me 10 inches total on top and 10 inches on the bottom. And that will make my quilt now 42.5 inches by 55.5 inches. And I think that's at least something that I can work with as far as making a lap quilt. I'll add a final border onto the quilt, and then it will be done. So I will show you some pictures of the final quilt top at the end of this video, and I'll just go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.